no one's snarky comment is going to like devalue my experience. Yeah, okay, you look really nice, but maybe I really didn't believe that inside. One failed relationship does not mean that I become cynical and bitter. Because this is such a male-dominated industry, and you have to do that little extra. Hands and I was like,
There's no one stronger than a woman who knows her worth, and I'm sitting right beside her right now, Samantha Prabhu. Welcome to India Today, firstly. Samantha,
I'm so glad to be here.
I think that you're one of the most strongest, most powerful women I know in this industry, and kudos to you for doing what you do. With regards to your film, I want to know, because you were also battling a personal crisis, health issue, and working on the film together. If I may ask, what was the most difficult out of these three to handle? Because I know each of the phase have their own difficulties, and I'm pretty much aware of that. But what was it like to deal with all of it together?
I've been to some really dark places.
Yeah,
but when the personal struggles were happening, I thought that, okay, this is it. Can't get worse. Can't get worse. I have evolved, and I am the best version of myself now, and I've learned everything that I need to learn. And then like life was like wham. Nope, gotcha. Yeah, waking up to myositis was a whole other ball game. So I think that I am never ever going to say this is it. This is everything that I've got to learn. I've learned. No, it's not happening, because I'm still understanding the new version of me. There's changes to the way I am physically, mentally, spiritually. Everything is changing to adapt to this new condition. So I am discovering the new version of me every single day.
Did it bother you at any point? Because it bothered me for sure, to see the lack of empathy on social media, especially when you're shooting. You're going through this difficult phase where you're also simultaneously shooting, and then there are some mean things being said on social media. I know I was furious reading that, and when you gave a comeback, I was like, whoop, like that's just the tip of the iceberg. I know that there's so much more within, which really irritates and bothers a person who's going through that. But how did you deal with that situation personally? Because we saw a reaction on social media, but I believe that the impact was much more.
I think I understand that we are in a world where the cynicism has become extreme. It's the lack of empathy is scary.
Yeah.
It's pushing a wide part of the population into depression and anxiety, because people are not empathetic to one another, because people are not kind to one another. Like this disease of anxiety and depression is right now going steadily up.
Yeah.
There's such a rise in the number of cases, number of people who are suffering from anxiety and depression, and because of this. So I do understand. I think I do understand that I'm able to value myself a lot better. I'm going to be able to cut out the noise and listen to the voice in my head that says, no, you've come a long way, you are strong, and you've gained so much experience that none of them can ever imagine.
Yeah.
So no one's snarky comment is going to like devalue my experience of the last 8 months, and no one is going to. My beauty might not be external right now, but it's internal.
Let me just correct you, it's both external and internal. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that. You are very well aware. I said it, if a woman knows her worth like you do, I think that's enough for anyone eventually.
Yeah, maybe before I considered myself, yeah, okay, you look really nice, but maybe I really didn't believe that inside. But now I do believe that I am strong and I am beautiful because of the sum of my experiences.
And you know, with Shaakuntalam also, what I really liked is the fact that you are at the helm of it, leading the entire. Very, very rarely do we see a female leading mythological or a period drama. So that was a refreshing change. Especially after RRR, we have seen there's a shift in the way budgets are being allocated to these films. But someone who is in the industry, does it still take a lot of convincing for the producer to invest in a film which is essentially led by a female narrative, as in the case of Shaakuntalam, because it involves a lot of production cost, VFX, you know, CGI. I know a lot of people might still not be ready for it. What was it? What has your experience been?
When I put up this bio of mine, I did not know that my life would I would be literally living it. That whatever your capabilities are, you must extend them to the maximum, to its maximum level, and then a little more, and then a little more, and the little more is the emphasis that I'm putting emphasis on, because as a woman in this industry, it's not enough that you are performing to the maximum of your capabilities, but it's important that you go even further, even a little more because this is such a male-dominated industry, and you have to do that little extra, not little, a lot, a lot extra to have this, and to be able to pull off projects, to be able to get people to trust and invest in you. It does take a lot. It does take a lot of work. But having said that, I have had the producers who, this movie started off at a certain budget, but ended up being a lot more. And my producer didn't hesitate at any point of time saying, no, this is the girl at the core of it, I can't do it. He believed in the project, he trusted the director, he trusted the vision, and he went for it. And this probably is the costliest, at least movie in the South that is made with a girl, and it's very pressurizing, but at the same time it has taken a lot of hard work for many years.
I know that. I was just reading the kind of body of work that you have had, and kudos to you. Every time you have just pushed the boundaries, and I know as a woman it's not easy to do that at every given step, you know. But also about the fact that this film is mounted on such a huge scale, and it is essentially a romantic film at its core. I want to know, Samantha, after having the kind of experiences that you have had, because I know of so many women around me who lose trust in love eventually in the longer run, is what keeps you going, because love does not necessarily mean partners love. It just means love as a whole.
It's not necessarily a love between a man and a woman that keeps me going. Like it's the love of my pets, it's the love of my friends, the friends who stood by me in the last 8 months. I have so much love to give. I'm still extremely loving, and it does not necessarily one failed relationship does not mean that I become cynical and bitter. And Shaakuntalam is, even though, you know, the play Abhignana Shaakuntalam was from the 5th century and it's such a long time ago, the character Shaakuntala is so modern. She appeals to the contemporary woman in me. She is fiercely independent, she has beliefs, she goes against societal norms, but she is unwaveringly truthful in her love, in her devotion, in her even in the hardest parts of her journey, she does it with so much of grace and dignity. And those were the parts that I connected to in Shaakuntalam. I connected to that journey. That's what makes epic characters. You go through adversity, but it's the choices you make that makes you like a hero and a heroine. And I think that that's where I connected with Shaakuntala, was the fact that she went through the worst adversities, but held herself with such dignity and grace. So while preparing for the character, although I had to prepare for the physical aspect of it, yes, that's one. You could take classes, you learn how to be a little graceful, and but also I
just
had
like moving hands.
move hands, and I was like, I mean, I was like, my hip was like always like, like who sits like that. But I also had to dig deep and find the best version of me as a human being to portray her dignity and to portray her grace. That was very important. It was not enough to just look good and look beautiful and graceful, but then, but it had to also come from within.
Yeah.
So I think my connection was more than just this is a love story. It was more
than that.
More than that.
I have been pronouncing the name wrong, I guess, all this time. It's Shaakuntalam.
Yes,
is it?
it's Shaakuntalam.
I was saying Shaakuntalam, so I have to revise that. One last question, because this is something which really excites me. Every time I talk to an actress, what really excites me is the fact that anyone, I know you're someone who's supportive of other women. And women supporting women is my best genre ever. Like, I love that. I know Rashmika, be it Tamanna, everyone came out in support for you, and they were so generous when they spoke about you. Like the fact that you've been such a strong woman. How do you see? Because we see this very rarely in this industry, and you're very aware. I mean, we all know how it can get. It's a very competitive society. To see all these women standing up for you and just sending in their best wishes, what is that like for you?
Yeah, I truly felt it. It was very heartwarming. First of all, I become a cheerleader when I see a good performance. When I see my contemporaries doing well, I become like I literally take it upon. I'm a fan. I become a fan, like a literal fan on social media. I go all out. So it was very heartwarming to see it reciprocated and to see that there was so much love to give. Because to be honest, there are so few of us in this industry, and if we don't come out and support each other, who will? And this space and their roles for everyone. I mean, there's no reason why this should be one against the other. And I see that whole change. I see there's so much love to give. There's so much warmth. There's genuine affection, and I'm a very positive person. I like, for me, any kind of negative energy drains me. So most of the time I'm so warm and loving because I'm selfish. Actually, I want to feel good about myself, and I want to feel happy. So I give to make myself be happy. Honestly.
And that's the best thing to do. Thank you so much for all your time. I wish that this was longer, but I'm happy that I just got to speak to you. So
I'm
that's
so happy that I got to speak to you
I hope
too.
that Shaakuntalam does immensely well so that we can speak more. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.